may I present Thea Award Committee member and creative director of the Bizarre Company, Adam Bizarre.
Wow, you guys look great. I don't know about you, but now I really want lasagna. So I hope lunch is coming up soon. We're moving into the theme park portion of the day. The morning was amazing with the museum stuff. That was really stunning. Thank you guys for putting that up first. It was really eye-opening. Great stuff. Now we come to the fun, the fun stuff. Wait, museums are fun too, kids. We're coming to the entertainment section of our day into the theme park areas, and to one of our very favorite things. This was a project that the award committee was really taken by. Chimelong Ocean Kingdom is now the 5th theme park to open under the Chimelong Group banner, and it's the first one outside of their original Guangzhou home base. And each park they've built, if you've seen them, has been more sophisticated and amazing than the one before in a relatively short period of time. It's one of the fastest sort of learning curve I've ever seen. And the newest park, built on an amazing, astonishingly fast time schedule, is the Chimelong Ocean Kingdom. It's the biggest, the grandest, and the best new park in China, in our view, and that's the reason why it is garnering this 2015 Thea Award for theme park. Really exceptional, and I hope you'll have fun hearing about it from the senior counselor of the Chimelong Group, Tony Say, and the general manager of Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, Alan Chan.
It is a true honor for us to be here today. Before we start presenting the project, because we are over 9,000 miles away, and we are the new kids on the block, so we decided to talk a little bit about who are we, and then we go on to the description of our project. Now, who are we? Chimelong Group Company is a private-owned company in China focusing on tourism industry, and we have 3 resorts, either under planning or operational. The first 2, the resort in Guangzhou, which Adam just mentioned, and then the resort in Zhuhai operational now, and then we have another one in Qingyuan, which is under the design stage. Our total attendance for last year is 104 million, and our Ocean Kingdom accounted for 5.5. Now let's have a quick look at the resort in Guangzhou. We have 5 distinct business units: the safari, water park, circus, hotel, and amusement park. 2 pieces of good news to be shared. The first one is the water park remains as world's most attended water park 2 years in a row. And then the safari, we have 3 newborn pandas in triplets, and it's never been done in the whole world. Moving on to the next one is the Chimelong Resort Zhuhai. We have the Ocean Kingdom, circus, and 3 hotels. And we are going to move on to the Ocean Kingdom now. So Ocean Kingdom is a combination of amusement ride, performance shows, marine animal exhibits, and the world record-breaking aquarium. And then a little bit more statistics is we have phase 1 cover 120 acres of land, and then with an additional 70 acres of land for future expansion. We have 8 themed zones, and a total investment for the whole resort is up to now is about $3 billion US. And the total duration from concept design to opening took 5 years. So let me be the tourist guide to lead you to our facilities. Now, the first one going in, of course, is the front entrance, which we call the Ocean Avenue. With that, we have canopy, about 11,000 square feet in size, and the viewing area from the ground to the top is about 60 feet. Now, over here is the construction in progress, and over here is the finished product. This front entrance or this canopy allow us to give the first wow to our guests when they first come into our park. Moving to the right, as we move along from the front entrance, is the Dolphin Club, where we have 2 family rides for family fun, and also we have a dolphin exhibit. You can view the dolphin from above water level and also underwater. And the total dolphins on exhibit is about 20. Moving on to the next zone is we call the Amazing Amazon, whereby we have a roller coaster from B&M Switzerland, and then also we have a filmed rock work, filmed as an old tree. And then at the same time, we have the manatee exhibit. We have 6 manatees on exhibits. Moving to the next one is the first focal point of our park, which we call the Ocean Beauty, whereby the first thing we have is we have the iconic building built. This iconic building is about 200 feet in height, which is equivalent to about 22 floors. And here are from the initial construction in progress, and here are the finished products. And then underneath the iconic building, we have the world's biggest aquarium with the vertical viewing panels and a dome panel. And we will talk about that later on when we come to the memorable milestone. And then the star of this aquarium is the whale shark. We have 5 of them on exhibition, and then we have another giant manta ray. And also we have a people mover that allow us to move 3,000 people in an hour. And then they can sit in the people mover and view the aquarium underwater. And then moving on to the next one is the polar horizon, whereby we have filmed rock work filmed as ice mountain and a water coaster. And within this zone, we have the beluga exhibit and the penguin exhibit. We have currently 20 belugas on exhibition, and then 250 plus penguins on exhibition. So moving on to another one is the Island of Family Fun, which is designed basically for family entertainment. Moving on to the next one is the Mount Morris Zone, where we have a roller coaster and then a rock work filmed as 2 walruses. Now, the reason I want to show this is there are 2 pictures here. The one on the left and the one on the right. Now, as you can see, well, maybe you don't, but anyway, the one on the left is an artistic concept from our lead designer. And then the one on the right is the actual final product. So as you can see, it is amazingly how our designer, who did the construction supervision as well, and our contractor, they did such a good work to retain the designer's design intent. They really did a very, very good job. So within the Mount Morris Zone, we have two types of animal on displays or on exhibition. The one over here is the sea lions, which we have about 80 of them. And over here, we have the walrus exhibition. We have currently 20 heads in population. Moving on to the next one is the Central Lagoon. This is the second, the focal point of our park. We are within the lagoon. We have the daytime show and also the nighttime show. And we will cover that later on in this presentation. And then along the lagoon, we have the Ocean Parade, where we have 8 trucks. Is it 8? Well, we have 9 trucks now, right? And then all themed with different ocean characters. And we have over 400 plus performers, mainly from Russia and Ukraine. Now, memorable milestone. The first one, we consider that as a memorable milestone is the transportation of the dome panel and the vertical viewing panel. Now, this one is the transportation of the dome panel. The panel was in 12 meter in diameter, which is about 36 feet in diameter. This is the biggest dome panel ever made in the world. And again, there's no one really make the transportation of this type of a panel. So our supplier in Japan has to charter a boat in order to ship the product from Japan to Zhuhai. And the panel was so big that I cannot clear customs. So we have to unload the panel right beside our site. And then the panel itself was so big that no truck or road can do the transportation. So we have to line up the 2 trucks parallel to each other, fix them together, and then move them. And the crane we use one single crane of 600 tons. So this is considered to be one of the really, really memorable milestone. And then also is the lifting of the vertical panel. Each panel is about 10 feet in width and 24 feet in height. And to make up our total vertical panel, we need 10 of them. And the weight of each panel is about 20 tons. So now here's the final product after the transportation and the installation. And I cannot show you the picture of installation because our supplier won't allow us to take any photos. Now, the next memorable milestone, this one is really incredible, is the make of the lagoon and the lagoon show. Now, please note the date of this picture, which is December year 2013. And these photos are construction in progress. Same thing, the picture I took on the same day. And now here's the final product of the lagoon show. And then you can see, what? It was open on January 28th, the next year. So what we did was from design and construction in progress to finished product, including the lagoon and the lagoon show, in less than 3 months. And we will talk about that a little bit more later. And the next memorable milestone is our company make a donation of $1.6 million during the opening day of our park to the Chinese White Dolphin Conservation Program. And the next slide shows the total donation we have made for wildlife conservation in the past 5 years. Now, another memorable milestone is the receipt of the Guinness World Records. We received 5 of it for our aquariums. And you can see how happy Mr. Chen is over there. Now, the road to success. First one is to create a product to meet the market need. Now, here I would like to mention something that the vacation pattern in China is quite different to the USA and Europe. In China, we do not have a lot of what is so-called the company paid vacation. So basically, our vacation time all packed in 3 or 4 periods in a year, mainly the Chinese New Year, the Labor Day, the National Day, etc., etc. So with that, when you design your product, you really have to give enough room to handle those peak periods. Because let's say during the summer holiday, our business is not really as good as the one in the United States of America or Europe, because there's very little company paid holiday. So you have the first thing is to know is how to create the product to meet the market. The second thing is top management focus. Now, we are the only company in China who is 100% focused on tourism industry. So with that kind of a focus, that allows us to build or to do our best to build the parks. And then also is a good support from international know-how. We have engaged with a lot of international brand names from US of A, Canada, Austria, Japan, Germany, and Switzerland, so on and so forth. So with that, we truly built a global international project. Now, at the same time is we have very good support from our local contractors. At one point, I think during the last year of the 5-year period, on a daily basis, we have 12,000 workers on site. And they're all doing a really, really good job in order for us to have the project done. Now, the next one is project location. Here's a map that shows the relative latitude between Orlando and Miami to our Zhuhai location. Now, with this kind of a location, we can ensure we can operate our parks all year round. Now, let's have a closer look at the location of our park. Now, we are located here, which is at the southern tip of Macau. And over here is Zhuhai. And this blue line represents the new Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge. The whole transportation system is about 38 kilometers, which is about 40 miles. So you can actually drive from the Hong Kong airport all the way to our property within, let's say, 40 minutes. So lesson learned. The first one, of course, is allow. Now, this is always in conflict with the owner. But building a lagoon and having the lagoon show completed in 3 months, with we have all because of this time frame, we have used all the suppliers, local suppliers, because that avoid the time of shipment and the time. And we did that in 3 months. So actually, we really wish that we have a little bit more time. And then the next one is to strengthen the ability of integration management. Now, a park that size, we really need a good integration management. And we should really consider to use external professional houses to help us on this. And then the next one is documentation management. And then the last one is more input to our designer about China specific. Oops. Now, I showed this picture before. This is the picture were taken during the Chinese New Year. And then it was so jam-packed in the park. So the next time around, we will, using our own experience, to input more to our designer to ensure that our next project, we have more space to accommodate our guests. Looking into the future quickly is we're doing our second phase expansion now, and then we have a 5D theater with 1,000 seats, and the theater is going to open in June this year. And then at the same time, we have the new family entertainment zone on the design stage, and we're expecting our attendance to be around 7 million next year. So here, before I conclude our presentation, I would like to show a video of our lagoon show. Thank you.
I'm sure you all have lots of questions about how they managed to do that in such a short period of time. Let's see the hands come up. Okay, back there.
Hello. You mentioned your attendance on the. Can you tell us approximately what your attendance is on the peak time of year, and then what it is on the off season?
Talk about daily or monthly. Daily, we just have a record attendance during the Chinese New Year time, just last month, and over 70,000 people that day. On slow day, we just have 5 to 7,000 people. There's a big difference between the slow day and the busy days.
I'm from San Diego, and I live next to SeaWorld, and I know that they've come under a lot of opposition because of the animals in captivity. And I was just wondering what kind of opposition, if any, you guys have there in China to open up a theme park like this with animals in captivity.
Maybe I'll answer this question. Now, we have a lot of concern on animal welfare. And the way we do it is we are 100% on animal welfare. And the way we do it, we are also in cooperation with the Chinese authority to make sure that all the construction, all the animal facilities are international standard, and then they accept it. So at the current moment, we don't have too much opposition from the animal, what do you call it, the animal protection people, because actually we are part of it.
You're all thinking, I'm going to add one to it myself. Along with a number of other people in this room, we worked on the Georgia Aquarium project, and I see some similarities. What aquariums did you visit when you were doing research? And also, I know that one of the big challenges for the Georgia Aquarium was actually sourcing the whale sharks and the penguins and the belugas. Where did yours come from?
We have a very close touch with Georgia Aquarium, and actually our source of animal and fish are from the same place. And say, for example, our whale shark is caught in the South China Sea.
You talked about one of your lessons learned was integration management. Can you elaborate on what kinds of integration and what sort of hurdles you encountered?
Yeah, when I talk about integration management, I'm sorry. When we are talking about integration management, we are talking about the integration of the whole project. Because, for example, we start with the lead designer to design the concept and then work on schematic and DD. And then at some point of time, there should be there should be someone to coordinate the actual architectural drawing or the construction drawing with the designer. Because in China, I cannot appoint a foreigner to do the construction drawing. So all those has to be somehow converted from DD to CD. And even this will require a lot of integration work. And then also, once you talk about equipment, you talk about imports, custom clearing, the timing, the construction of the foundation. So there's a lot of integration that you have to take care of for a project in this magnitude.
You also talked about you want to give your designers more input about Chinese aspects, cultural and design considerations. And one of them that was good was the sizing. But what other things do you want us all to know about before you start designing your next one?
Or maybe that's a cultural difference, a cultural requirement. And that's like what Tony mentioned, the golden bit arrangement in China. And also the legal system. The legal system is different. The legal requirements, especially for the mechanical rights, is different between the Western world and China. So that's another point we have to pay special attention when we engage overseas consultants or overseas people to work in China.
Another good example is this ride safety, because there is a governing body in China to do the approval of the installation of the ride. So there's an entire different system that we have to work with.
How can we find out about that system in advance? Are there sources we can go to get that information before we start on projects?
Yes. The question is yes. There's online inquiry that you can make to get those information.
I have a question actually. With a park so large in your construction process, did you ever run into material shortages? Anything when trying to build something so huge over such a large period of time?
Running out of materials or
We ran out of money. No.
Thank you, Tony, very much. That's a perfect ending.